Hi YouTube. I hope you're doing okay. I could be better. I'm having one of them days. Well, like last night, I almost killed myself with food, not eating too much, but what I ate because of the beans and the barbecue sauce on the chicken, and then I made some beer bread, and I'm allergic to beer and the baking powder that. Well, I use self-rising flour. So it's really easy. All you do is take a can of beer, 3 cups of flour, and a third to a quarter stick of butter. You mix up the dough first, and then you take the melted butter and pour it on the top of the bread after you grease the pan and put it in there, and bake it for 375 for about 50 to 60 minutes, or till it's golden brown. And so we had beer bread, beans, and barbecued chicken breasts, which were skinless, and um it was really good, but I almost died for it all night. And then I got up and seen a message from my daughter-in-law that my son had attacked somebody unprovoked and had got arrested for that. And then a friend of theirs had seen him walking down the street with a younger guy and said that he looked angry, like he was possessed. And I do believe he could be. Um, Very, very possible, you know. And that brings me to what the dark cabal is trying to do to the whole world. This is my message for them basically today, because you know, there is an army of people in the world. Want to know who they are? They're called the white cabal. We're the ones that can just think it and it goes out into the ether, and God directs us and guides us together on how that works. And you are not going to destroy this whole world and control every human being with your sicknesses, for your sicknesses, anymore. This stops now. You don't believe me? Just watch. Every human being in the world, aside from the ones that you're affiliated with, but I'm talking normal human beings, God loving or just real loving. I'm not talking this fake love because we all have money type of thing, because I could have been one of you too and walked away from it because I have dignity, something you lack. So, just put that in your pipe and smoke it, because I already smoked it. Watch my words come into fruition right now. People, rocket scientists are starting to say, hey, um, and if you think they're stupid, think again, that they're not going along with any of this crap. And it used to be where people could say, well, yes, I have studied science quite deeply, but there's a lot of people that'll say, well, um, you don't have a degree, so therefore you have no opinion. Well, I think that a rocket scientist might have a little bit of intelligence, don't you? Yeah, me too. That's a really good thing. Good news today. A lot of people are standing up, and uh the thing is, people that have like small businesses and stuff, um will support you. We'll support each other. Doug and I ran small businesses most of our lives, and really never had any problem making ends meet. So, with these big corporations trying to oust out the little guy, and I think a lot of these businesses, this is just my opinion, I cannot prove a thing I'm saying, but this is just my instincts screaming that there's some businesses that are affiliated with the cabal in their communities that will be closing their doors and taking benefits that have probably been promised them through tax write-offs or whatever in the future. So this is just some thoughts that I have being a business-minded person. If I were going to try and usurp money from the public, that's how I would do it. I'd close all these small businesses so my buddies didn't have to work anymore. And then I'd give them money for doing it, just like what they did with the farmers back in the 70s and in like 1987. I do believe it was, could have been 86. So, yeah, from experience, I'm telling you what I know. So, yeah, okay, Cabal, done with you. Bye. Yeah, buy your way out of hell, you lizards. So, anyway, it was super cold out today. It's, excuse me. Shouldn't inhale when I'm trying to talk, I guess. Oh yeah, thou shalt not suck air, Cabal. You're done. Um, yeah, was like 25 degrees last night. And so, yeah, it's chilly out, but we have like 60-degree days coming up that instead of having, like Doug said today, instead of having days or a month of things to do outside, we're down to hours of stuff that we have to do. So that makes it much better. Takes the pressure off of preparing for winter when you live out in the country, you know? So, yeah. Anyway, it isn't hard for me to believe what these creeps are doing in the world to everybody, but it's the unsuspecting ones that I'm concerned about. Um, or the ones that do know that I'm just talking to and saying hello like usual, you know, just like what's up, how are you doing, that type of thing. Because um these are some weird times. I don't think any person experiencing this think that there's anything natural about it, you know. I don't. Of course, I know. I knew what their plans were, agendas. I read them um, when I was 50. Yeah, that long ago. Um, it's disgusting. I mean, it doesn't make it any better and it's not making it go away, but yeah, everything they've done to us, everything, it's like I shared a post yesterday. Who was alive in 1965, or how old were you? Or 69, the summer of love. I was 11 years old, very impressionable. And the stuff that was going on with Woodstock and the drugs and the nudity, and it's like free sex and rock and roll, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll was their thing, you know. I was considered more the flower child era, but those are the ones that they were trying to destroy their life with their programming and propaganda way back then. There was a guy named Timothy Leary. Yeah, Leary, be Leary, um, that was promoting acid. You know, that's about as brain dead as you can get right there. It's just my opinion. I've taken Mr. Natural way back when. Yeah, it was natural. I even know how to make it, to tell you the truth. Not that I would, and I never have, but I can because I read the Anarchist Cookbook. I had one. Gave it to somebody. I learned a lot of things. There's bread recipes, bomb recipes, all kinds of things. And yes, I read it all. Why wouldn't I? It was available to me before it became illegal. So it's kind of like the marijuana's grower guide. That was illegal way back when, too. You know, as far as I know, I think it was. When I read it, I think it was. But oh no, can't persecute me now. I think the statute of limitations is up on that one. Reading a book to grow a natural herb. Oh my God, how criminal. You know, wow. Yeah, I know sometimes I'll talk about my past or what went on and what's going on. And I know there's some people that can thoroughly relate. And if it comes out of me, I'm not living in my past and I'm not living my past. In fact, I'd more than often be laughing about it. Um, but I know a lot of people can relate. And there's young people going through things that I went through that can appreciate somebody talking to them about that type of thing. That gives them the opportunity to think to themselves, oh, she does know. You know, that. So, yeah. Otherwise, I really wouldn't say nothing. I don't, and if I know, like, for instance, like, somebody that I love or care about that's like 30 or 40 years old or thereabouts. Um, and if it's female, a lot of that is kind of like on my Facebook. Um, I'm basically relating to people that have been through similar things, and we're just talking about it because it does feel good to talk about it with your peers if you can find ones that are like-minded or in your soul like that. But carrying hatred, I put that stuff behind me a long time ago. I will occasionally joke about it, or I will occasionally have a sad day, and that might be even if I'm not feeling well. Um, uh, Depressive feelings can creep in easier, so I try to really always keep my spirit up. But you know, it's not always easy to do. You know, I mean, some heavy things that I was discussing with my daughter-in-law and stuff, um, and the things that her child or my child has gone through and is going through, or what she's going through. I mean, it's not really easy to keep a happy demeanor when you don't know if somebody you love is going to die or not. And it's 15 degrees outside, and you don't know if they'll live through the night. It's not an easy thing to live with. So anyway, so yeah, I kind of get on here and I try not to like tell you my problems, but by way of talking and telling you about my day, if you don't like the message, you can shut it off, and maybe another time I'll be saying something that's more suitable to your taste, or But yeah, living in my past. Woo! Let it go. Long time ago. I'm the best at letting something go. I started running away at 5. I think that's kind of an indication of my compulsory nature to letting something go. If I had that instinct way back then, I probably had it even way before I could even think to have it. That's how easy I let things go. So if I've ever had to, I mean, I give it some really deep thought before I just say I've had enough of somebody. It has to be pretty horrible. And even if it's pretty horrible, I still might keep trying. I shared a post about staying with my ex really did teach my children to disrespect women and be abusive, when I thought in all reality that we could work it out. And it seemed like, for a little while it'd be okay and then it wouldn't be again. And when that goes on for like 10, 12, 13 years or whatever, and finally, if you can, and I see now I had a very strange situation that was dangerous for me and my sons if I didn't do it the right way. So I had to put a lot of planning in to getting away from a monster. So, yeah, I talk about it so other people can hear my experience and maybe learn from my experience. And like I say, have somewhere to go if you're going through those same type of things. So yeah, but I did really think I was teaching them loving kindness and loyalty and the strength of family and with all hopes that things would work out. And I tried everything possible, you know, till there was no more, nothing left to try, you know, aside from um, trying to make a stable home for my sons so they could have some kind of chance of normalcy in the world because they really lived around a monster that would like pick up the kitchen table with their meal on it and smash it right in front of them. You know, weird things, very evil, and I'll just leave it there today. But yeah, so um, and I know that there's millions of people going through horrific things, and my heart does go out to you or have gone through them. And I know for a fact that I have women on here right now, younger than me, going through things I had gone through, and they are not knowing which way to turn because it seems like maybe your prayers aren't being answered and like your life's falling apart and that type of thing. And I really, really do understand. If this is any consolence, um, or condolence rather, I'm sorry, or yeah, yeah, the same. Um, I can't promise you that part is ever going to be any easier wherever you go in the world. But if you're being physically harmed or your kids are, that you have to draw the line there because that part probably won't get better. As a matter of fact, most likely will get worse. Or if it's brutal to begin with, you don't get any worse. And if it continues, you just keep getting hurt over and over again. And even if it's mental abuse and you have crying and sleepless nights, or you can't eat, or you have weight gain, you may end up having a stroke or a heart attack. You really do have to think about yourself. And those are the prayers that I hope you're praying. Pray for your spouse and pray for everybody in your situation. But definitely take care of yourself first because without you, you're no help to anybody that you do love. So just keep that in the front of your mind, you know. Rocket scientists won't take the vax or obey the mandates. That's rich. I love that. Hey, don't believe me? Look at Google it. Ooh, yeah, that's really great because there's a lot of scientifically minded people that I would trust far more than ones that want money from corporations and stuff for doing their dirty deeds towards everybody else, to line their pockets. So, yeah. I am going to let you go. I'm going to make some rice pudding for supper. Um, That probably will be a little bit easier on me. I'll probably sleep better too. Won't wake up like some drooling clown, you know. From what you eat, that's pretty bad. Want a French fry? How about a cigarette? Have a good night or day, everybody. I love you. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back. Again, I just, like I said, had kind of a rough day. Peace, y'all.